Our show will begin momentarily. You are experiencing an incredibly annoying wait time. We do apologize, but again, the show will start momentarily. Please stand by. Thank you for tuning in. Please stand by. Our show will begin momentarily. You are experiencing an incredibly annoying wait time. We do apologize, but again, the show will start momentarily. Please stand by.
Hey everybody, welcome to Popular Unknown Paintball Live. I had a show planned for tonight, and this sounds like a broken record. I had a plan, and but it is what it is. And so I put a question out to everybody and said, "What would you guys like to talk about?" And I learned a new trick to use StreamYard, or like new trick to use on StreamYard, and it's how to share slideshows. And so what I thought I'd do is I'd ask a few questions and I would ask people and then we would talk about it. And we got Mike saying, "What's up?" Well, just doing what I'm doing, my friend. Glad to have you. And we got another person saying, "What's up? What's up?" All right. So, we got Robert Hanson saying, "What's up, brother?" Not a whole lot. Just chilling out, maxing, relaxing, being cool, shooting some b-ball. No. Anyway, yeah, I'm not a singer. Anyway, so welcome to the show, and I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm trying something new, which is something that I like to do if you guys don't follow along. Oh, we got Sean saying farts. Yeah, no farts. Nope, no farts. Well, maybe, but I'm not putting it into the microphone. Before I get started, though, I got to show you guys this. The new Ali Remember jerseys are in. Check this out. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, so the Ali Remembered Foundation. Oh, my chair's squeaking. That's not farts. It's not farts, I'm telling you. Anyway, the Ali Remember Foundation that you normally see me wear, where it says Ali Remembered down the side, that is the Denver Expendables jersey. Now, there's a few others, there's a few copies, but for the most part, that is actually a Denver Expendables jersey, not an Ali Remembered Foundation jersey. Now, this, however, is an Ali Remembered Foundation jersey. So if this is something that you might be interested in, or if you want to wear them, don't hesitate to contact me outside of the podcast, and I will be happy to put you in touch with the Ali Remember Foundation, and you can order one. These are made by Anthrax, as you can see, and the quality is fantastic. Now, one of the things I don't like, I'll be honest, because I'm always honest, is I don't like how it's got these thumb things. That irritates me, but that's just personal taste. The quality is fantastic. So if you like them, great. If you don't, is what it is. But just do what I do, roll up the sleeves, and away we go. All right, so we got Sean saying they look great. Awesome. We got Brandon saying, "Hey there, Green Mountain Renegades from Vermont." Shout out to you guys. You guys right there, see? Poke. And we got Facebook user saying, "Hi, Steve." Hi back, Facebook user. Actually, you know what I ought to do? I ought to fire up my cell phone so I can see who these random Facebook users are. So bear with me a second here. I'm going to cheat, because if you don't give Facebook or you don't give StreamYard permission to use, if you don't give StreamYard permission to use Facebook or put your name up, I can't see who it is. So all I get is right there, Facebook user, and that's kind of weak sauce, and I don't like it. So let's go on to this here. It's going to get quiet. Okay. And so that's Zoe saying, Zoe. Zoe is from Texas. Zoe, I hope you're feeling better. For everybody that doesn't know, Zoe is not feeling 100%, but hopefully she's feeling better soon. So my prayers are going out to you, young lady, and I hope everybody else does too. And Eric said, StreamYard had my permission. Is it working now? Yes, Eric, it is working now. And we've got, well, when you go on Facebook and you look, like go to my popular unknown page, right at the above it, it'll actually have a link that says give StreamYard permission. You just click on that and away we go. All right. And we got sweet. Okay. So I had a show planned for tonight. For those of you that don't know, TM40 Life to the Full was released about a week ago, give or take. And that is all about Tim Montresor. And I had the extreme pleasure of narrating it. And I was hoping to have John and Medea on tonight, but some of his plans got changed. And he had to fly. He's on his way to Florida, help out with the NXL and do what he does, bring you guys more content, more information at Paintball Media Magazine, which is free, by the way. If you're not reading the magazine, you should. It's free. It's online. You don't have to go anywhere. What else are you going to do? Lots of pictures. It's awesome. Anyway, so he's doing that, and he wasn't able to come on tonight. So I reached out to the Facebook family, and I asked, what would you guys like to talk about? Because I learned a trick. So we're gonna cover that. Another thing we need to do, and I'm gonna mention this really quick, is next week I have a new sponsor. Yeah, it's officially announced next week. So everybody needs to tune in next week, because I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's gonna be cool. So, we got Mike saying everyone come out to Living Legends, Black Ops Paintball Field, New York or North Carolina. My apologies. Hit up Chris Annis Creations for any custom team tumblers. There you go, Mike. Gave you a shout out. You owe me a percentage because this is on my time. Anyway, so why don't we start with getting some of these questions up, and we'll start. Tell me what you guys think. All right. So first and foremost, let's add this to the stream here. And how cool is that? So I can bounce the question, so I can be like this, and you can see the question right there. And at the beginning, I can change it to be big so you guys can read it right away. Now, one of the suggestions that I got from Rob Hansen was that I should grab some Hall of Fame inductees and let the stories roll. Well, Rob, I tried that, and everybody was busy. I mean, with Florida coming up next week and whatnot, like people are traveling. I will try harder. Hanu, you got to help me on this. All right. So that's that. The next one is, all right, let's go. Now you have to bear with me. I don't have a producer here. I got to do this all myself. So best and worst events you've attended. All right. Well, I don't like talking about the worst because that accomplishes nothing. I'm not one to talk about the bad. I like talking about the good. I like being positive, and I like moving forward. But best events I've ever attended, Skyball. Well, Skyballs, plural. But that first Skyball, walking into the Sky Dome, which is now the Rogers Center, where the Blue Jays play and the Toronto Raptors play. And just that immensity. It was like paintball became legitimate. And I got to see myself pull a move on the Jumbotron. They literally they were recording. There was TV cameras for later. And I was there, and I did something really cool coming over a bunker. And one of my teammates grabbed me and says, dude, look. And I'm like, whatever. I was in the middle of talking. If you guys haven't noticed, I like talking a lot, hence this show. But he literally grabbed my head by the ears and pointed my face up at the Jumbotron. And there I was coming over a bunker. And I got to see myself in slow-mo, on a TV bigger than my house, which is just awesome. At the time, it was the largest indoor TV screen in existence. Yeah, and that was cool. Oh, we got Zoe. Hey, Zoe, you got it working. Good. Now, do you know Skywall will be as big as it turned out to be? Yes. Yes, I did. Actually, I would argue that it didn't turn out as big as I expected it would because it stopped and paintball's almost never on TV anymore. It floundered, if you will. But at the time, yes, it was the very first time paintball was actually played in an actual sporting arena, indoors. Like it was there, nothing like it had ever happened in the past. We all knew we were making history when it happened, and it was just the coolest thing ever. And I wish all of you could have been there to join in, but anyway, all we got to do is we got to raise some money. We got to make it happen again somewhere different. I don't know if it'll happen at the Sky Dome. Before COVID, I know that there was a talk. People were trying to get me involved with creating a new one. But I was helping with the possible design of another Skyball to be named something different. And we were shooting for Detroit because Detroit has lots of space, lots of stadiums, and they can use the money. And it was looking good. And then COVID. And so who knows, maybe something like that will happen again. And let me just close this down for a second because I got Oz asking me a question here. He says, this may have been answered, but I want to know what your favorite marker is as of today. Okay, my favorite marker, I got to ask you, Oz, are you talking about what do I think the best on the market is out there right now, or what in my own personal collection? Because if it's in my own personal collection, my favorite marker is my 97 Autococker Blackie, because I've had that since new, and it's just modified beyond all modifications. The only thing stock on it is the back block. And then, okay, so it says, in my opinion. All right, so we won't talk about that. All right. Right now out there, it's hard to say. As far as what the best markers are out there on the market, I'm not a big mag-fed guy. So we're going to take those right off the table. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm not saying they're not amazing. It's not my style. And if it's not my style, I can't say it's my favorite. And that's just how it is. It's not an insult to mag-fed. Not my thing. I'd love to play it sometime. I'm looking forward to trying it. But so currently, I can't say enough fantastic things about Planet Eclipse because they're awesome. And I absolutely love what Shocker is doing. Smart Parts and whatnot. I got my Shocker right there. In the past, I never would have liked Shocker. If you've checked out the new Mac Dev stuff, holy smokes, those things are amazing. And they all shoot different. I'd say quality-wise, they're all on par. Like Planet Eclipse, Shocker, MacFed, like they're all on par. It's all what really fits you, what locks in, what really does good for you. So I don't know. I'm at a point where you put a gun in my hands, I'm happy. I let loose and I can make it work. But I have to say that I'm loving that Shocker right there. And I can't wait to get my hands on one of the new amps. I'm not a big fan of a Lux, and that's not knocking their quality. It just doesn't fit me. And the new Mac Devs, with the way they've got the angles on their handles, they're so nice. And I can't wait to get my hands on another one of those, which should be soon. So here's hoping. But so I love Mac Dev. I love Shock Tech. Not Shock Tech. I love Mac Dev. I mean, I love Mac Shock Tech too. Like, how can you not love Danny Love and the boys? But yeah, as far as autocockers go, and you've got all the custom guns that are being made, in small, those are all complete hot rods. Like, they're just amazing. Yeah, as long as it's not I gotta say, as long as it's not a blowback, I'm pretty much love the gun. I'm not a big fan of blowbacks, and their time has come and their time has passed, and I could do without them. So yeah, I have a favorite? Not right now, but I'm loving having my shocker, and I loved shooting the Mac Dev at last World Cup. And yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on a bunch of new stuff. So we got Dan saying, "Sweet Jersey. How about Denver for a big national fun event?" Say, hey, you know what? I would love that, but a lot of people don't want to go to Denver because altitude sickness is a thing. Trust me. And we got here comes the offering to the Oracle gods. I love my Oracle. Don't get me wrong, but Oz was asking what current ones are, and Oracles, they've been out of production for 20 years. Yeesh. All right, we got Robert saying, when are you going to play with that mag, or do you want to let me have it? I love my mag. COVID happened, and hopefully I'll have it at ICC this year because there's a loophole. So I'm going to be at ICC come hell or high water, and that's coming with me to ICC. So we'll get her up and running by then. All right. So, we got Mark Gong saying, good evening. Good evening, Mark. Glad to see you. All right. So let's get on with the thing. So that was best and worst. What is the next squad? How do we get more youth playing paintball and not playing airsoft? How do we get more youth playing paintball and not playing airsoft? Well, I have to say that I think that a lot of kids are going to airsoft because it looks cooler. Okay. I mean, they get to watch the shows on TV and they get to play their video games and whatnot. And then when they see these guns and they look the same, and they just want to play airsoft because you get the gun, the ammo's cheaper, it looks more real, it just looks more badass. And I think that really just makes why it is what it is. So we've got to bring paintball to the mainstream, and we got to make paintball cool again, and we got to make paintball interesting again. And that's how that is going to come about, in my personal opinion. But it's a very good question. All right, so we got a bunch of people coming here. We've got Chris saying you can play with my mag or 3. But Chris, why would I want to play with your mag when I have my own? I've got the beast right there. And we got says, you got a suitcase big enough for my fat ass to travel to ICC? Sean, no, I do not, because I'm going to have too much gear. Do I have a suitcase big enough? Yes, but I'm not substituting you and not my stuff. That being said, we'll talk off screen because there is a loophole. So we can go to ICC and bypass that whole hotel thing. So yeah. All right. Scenario or big game? Neb, you have already asked me a question. We will get to that after I get through my slideshow, but that's cool. Now, this is what I want to see here. So, okay. So greetings, person running this channel. I'm here out of curiosity, despite being a humble channel with almost no grasp about paintball other than Splatoon. Well, hello, Viros Delta. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name right there. I do apologize, but I'm glad to have you on the show and chat away. I will respond as I can. Man, that makes me feel good having new people in the show. Yeah, that's awesome. That's just awesome. And we got, oh man, it's cheaper for kids to play airsoft. Well, Zoe, you know what? I don't disagree with you, but I kind of do, because when you start pricing out how much it costs to buy the airsoft gun, and then you've got to buy the mags, and then you've got to buy the proper harness, and you've got to buy all those things, that adds up. And then airsoft equipment isn't the most reliable on the planet. You tend to break it a lot. So therefore, you're paying more to repair. The only way airsoft is cheaper than paintball is that the pellets are way cheaper than paintball, in my personal opinion. I know that you, Zoe, are one of, I guess, the manager or assistant manager between you and your dad. You guys control Tanks Paintball in Texas, which is one of the single greatest paintball fields in Texas. I mean, heck, you've got a Leopard main battle tank. So cool. So I am not telling you that you're wrong. I'm just saying that I think I have a little bit different opinion. I think when you put it all in the wash, I think it all works out to be about the same, but there's less impact as well. So, and we got airsoft as a gateway drug to paintball. Sure. And we got, you're right. My son quit paintball due to the guns. All right, Mike, thank you. And then we've got Mark going, join the Hermans. We have a youth organization. Yes. And you guys, the Hermans, by the way, for those of you that don't know, is the youth version of the OG Ironman. And Herman is actually the name of the skull that goes on, which is on the OG Ironman logo from back in the mid 80s. So it is just absolutely fantastic. And I love the looks of those jerseys. And I just think they're amazing. I'm kind of wishing I was a kid so I could rock one. All right. So, okay, where do we go here? Brian said, okay, I went to Skyball 2002. One of the vendors there sold me a barrel squeegee cleaner that looked like a fuzzy cheetah tail, 3 inches long. I could never figure out where to buy another one. Have any idea what that vendor was? I assume they were kind of local in Toronto. Okay, so a barrel squeegee cleaner that looked like a fuzzy cheetah tail, 3 inches long. Okay, to me, that sounds like a super jerk. It's like a cable. It's got some neoprene circles, and then it's got a 12 gauge shotgun plug at the end, and people made them themselves. A lot of people didn't put that shotgun plug in because it put more metal in the barrel, and they just stayed with the neoprene, and you just pulled it through and it just jerked it out. Let me know if that's right or wrong, but you can still buy super jerks, and they've make flexible plastic versions of it. All right, Sean says, we need Canada to reopen so we can engage the young guns and corrupt the kids back into this great game. Yes. All right, we got Rampage Richie Santos saying, hello, everyone. Hello to Rampage. All right, it says, this is in my YouTube recommendations. Blame them for being here. I'm not blaming them. I'm happy to have you here, my friend, so I'm glad to see you. And says the Brass Eagle and Cocker fan. Okay, I don't know what that's all about, but Neb, you're being you. It is way easier to cheat in airsoft. Seeing lots of people switch to paintball just due to that. That is correct, but it's extremely easy to cheat in paintball too. Ask anybody that's been playing for a long period of time, and they'll tell you. Like it's all about honor and who you play with, and it can't be helped. But yeah, paintball, it's just splat. All right, so we got Charles saying, good evening all. Awesome. And you said airsoft guns weren't the most reliable. Okay, so all right, so Neb, when I said that I liked Brass Eagle and autocockers, if you know what you're doing and you grew up back in the day and you got them working, they're insanely reliable, and they can be. You just got to know what you're doing. But there's a reason why people don't make autocockers anymore, with the exception of the Inception and whatnot. It's a limited market. So many people hated autocockers. So many people hated Brass Eagle guns. But being in Toronto, that was commonplace. We just had them all over because it was manufactured right there in Mississauga. It was like I could drive an hour to the factory. Like, why wouldn't I want it? So they were just awesome, and they are out of date. And I haven't shot a Brass Eagle gun in 20 years because there's newer, there's better. All right, so we got Austin saying, what gun do I play with? What gun don't I play with? My main tournament gun right now is this, Austin, in case you're curious. This is a Shocker XLS. Actually, technically, it's one of Caesar's Ultra Shockers. And it comes with match anodized mech frame. And yeah, I got so this is my main tournament gun, but I still use autocockers. I'm going to be using that mag hopefully soon. Can't wait to use that. 1 second. And then I used a Mac Dev at World Cup, and yeah. So, all right. How many Brass Eagles in various states of repair do you own currently? 7, I think. I don't know. I have a bin. I have a giant bin where guns go to die, and I just put them in there. And I don't see myself repairing. I don't see myself repairing them anytime soon, because there's no paint that will actually stay in the barrel, and I don't want to scotch tape the barrel, and I don't want to pull the nail polish dip dot. So yeah, I'm using modern guns. That's why they're in various states of repair, because if there's no paint, why should I get them back up and running? So we'll see how things go in the future. If I can get a little more money going, maybe I'll start cracking them out. I would love to play with my Nightmare Competition short barrel, which is still in the box. I love that. And Sean says, fun fact, Sheridan has a Peterborough facility for a time, and yes, I know you hate the VMs with a passion. Still got to hand you one of mine when the field opens. Yeah, no, I don't want it. I don't need it. I'm not a fan of blowbacks, and I really don't like those VM/PMI 3s, whatever they were. They are cinder blocks with, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want them. Don't need them. People enjoy them. They can. More power to them. I got better things to shoot. All right, so let's get back to the questions here. Let me just bear with me a second. Now, I don't have a producer, so we got to do this all myself. Worst, best things you've seen as a ref, and that is from Neb. All right, so again, I don't really like talking about negativity. It's not my thing. So the worst thing I've seen as a referee would be cheating. I was at tournaments, and I'm not going to go into details. I'm not going to name names, but I saw teams try to bribe refs. I try to bribe me. That's the worst thing. Like, when you're a referee and you want it to be a good game, and you want to be there for safety, and you want to be there to help people, and just like, if you take a hit in the pack, then you take a hit in the pack, and that's what it is. But when people deliberately wipe or try to buy off refs or whatever the case may be, that's the worst thing that I've seen in paintball. Now, the best thing that I've seen in paintball, there's too many great things to count. I've had too many fantastic moments. When I started playing, I was reffing. The weekends that I wasn't playing, I was reffing. That was how I was able to afford to play. So quite often I would play one day and I would ref the next day. And it was just absolutely awesome. But I think my favorite reffing story is I was reffing this group of Italians, and that's not being racist or bigotry or whatever. I'm being descriptive. It was a giant family of all Italian people. And they were all lots of bravado, what you would think in that stereotypical setting. And they were all just, but what really got me is there was this one young lady who came with her boyfriend. And her boyfriend wanted to shoot her, so he put her on the other team, which is just a jackass move. Like, she was short and cute and just, she was amazing. And like, she was funny, and she was terrified. Like, she was legitimately terrified. But all she wanted to do was go out there, play paintball, and not embarrass herself. That's all she wanted to do. And she wanted to go down. And so she'd get out playing, and she was playing extremely well, like just awesome. But the problem is when she got out, or when she got it there, she'd see somebody, she'd pull out, she'd take her shot, and then the minute she hit the person, she got so excited, she'd start dancing around and she'd jump out of things. And sure enough, she'd be instantly taken out. And this happened time and time again. Like, she was full on ninja, assassin, black ops. Like, she was the greatest on the field that day, except for the fact that the minute she got somebody, she got so excited, she started dancing, and she got eliminated. So at the lunch break, I went over to her and I said, listen, you're doing amazing. You're playing extremely well. You're hilarious, like just awesome. I said, but what you got to do is, if you want to keep going, is keep that mentality. But when you get your elimination, contain the dancing, or at the very least, dance behind a tree or just whatnot. So all well and good. And we went out after lunch. Horrible hot dogs. Horrible hot dogs. Anyway, we went out after lunch, and she shot her boyfriend. Right? And she was just starting, and I just screamed at her. She just started dancing. I just screamed at her. I yelled, "Duck!" And she dropped down. She was in the middle of this great big field of grass. All you could hear her was squealing with delight, and these 2 feet just kicking in the air, and she's laughing, and there's these 2 feet sticking out of the grass, kicking in the air. That has to be my favorite reffing story of all time. Like, I mean, I've seen some really cool things, but that memory is stuck in my head, and that is hands down my personal favorite. All right, so we got Chica saying good evening to you, Chica. And we got Neb saying, you've never met my wife. She's always wants to play on the other side. Well, that's fine if they want to, but why would you, as a boyfriend, try to stick your spouse on the other side when they're already scared and nervous? And you know what I mean? Like, why would you do that to somebody? If they want to go, then by all means, game on. But if they're nervous and stuff, like, why would you put them in that predicament? That's just bad form. So, and Nebs, if it's a field hot dog, it better be Maple Lodge, Halla chicken dog, or else why even bother? Well, you know what? If it's a hot dog and it's cooked on a paintball field, unless it's somebody special, like if what you go to Combat Pursuit and they have like a special guy coming in, I won't eat field food anymore. I just won't. I've had too many times talking into the big white telephone, calling the dinosaurs. Yeah, I don't eat field food anymore. I just don't. Not if I can help it, unless it's something special or they bring in a special vendor. But yeah, if the field owner's cooking, 10 to 1, I try to avoid it. Sometimes like Combat Pursuit did a chili night, and that was fantastic. But yeah. All right, so what else do we got? Let's get on to the next question here. Kenny Stewart wants me to talk about Titmans and Paintball Museums. Well, I don't know if Kenny's out there, if he's listening or whatnot. He usually is. But I will tell you all, I am not a Titman fan. It's not that I don't respect Titmans. I think Titmans are fantastic for what they are. I think that they are, they changed paintball. They brought so many people in. Like, there's so many people that love Titmans. I can't say enough nice things about what they did. But for my personal tastes, Blowbacks had their day, and they're done. And more importantly, I'm not a big fan of Titman design with all the extra bolts that you have to do, the pins, and just for the money that you spend on a Titman, you spend a little bit more. You can get guns that are more ergonomic, better on paint, easier to clean, just I just don't like Titmans. Like, I mean, if you like them, awesome, more power to you. When you've got them up and running, and they always run, they're extremely reliable. I'll give them that. And you're enjoying it, then it's a fantastic gun. But for me, I I don't I don't own anymore, and I don't see myself owning anymore, and I don't have any interest in owning Titmans. Like I said, I'm not bashing them. I'm not putting them down. They are great for what they are, and if you're happy with it and you love it, then awesome, because they are super reliable. But that being said, yeah, no interest. As for paintball museums, Kenny has the General Paintball Museum, and he just moved to Michigan, and I'm not sure exactly where in Michigan off the top of my head. And he's just setting it back up, but his collection is fantastic, and he loves Titmans. And I have to say, his collection is top notch. Another paintball museum is Bill Bailey's. I forget what Bill Bailey calls it, but he actually has a mobile museum he takes to big events and stuff. And that thing is amazing because he's got some really cool gems, old autocockers, like just, but very unique things from all around the world. Like Bill Bailey's museum is awesome. I have to give credit out to Bocce too, Daniel Bocce. That guy, like, he's probably the single greatest paintball gear historian that we currently have at this time, and he has a huge collection of all sorts of weird and obscure things. So if you check out his page, Bocce Paintball, you can get your old gear up and running, because he tends to sell off parts and buy job lots, and his stuff is amazing. I'm not sure what other paintball museums are out there. Those are the only 3 that I know of off the top of my head. Feel free to mention in the comments below if you get the chance. But because I mean, we'd all like to know where there's more paintball museums. But those are the 3 I know of. Kenny Stewart's got one, Bill Bailey's got one, and Bocce's got one as well. But Bocce's isn't really a museum so much as a solid collection. But I don't know if he actually tours with it or anything like that. All right. So next question. Okay. Yeah, this is the one that I don't want to talk about, but I have to. All right. So John asked me to talk about Bill C-21. For those of you that don't know what that is, I'm in Canada. And here in Canada, there has been a bill proposed, Bill C-21, which does a lot of things with firearms. But one of the things that it does is that it actually bans replicas or anything that looks like a gun. Now, I don't want to talk about this because I've been involved in firearms political discussions pretty much my entire life. And it's a broken record. Like, it just, the firearms, like real firearms community, has been preaching to the world, or anybody that will listen, that we can't keep giving up. We can't keep making compromises, because the people that want to get rid of firearms, they're not going to be happy until they're all gone. So when we make a compromise, we lose, but they never actually compromise anything from their position. They just keep gaining ground. So right now, a Bill C-21 is, the way it's written for the most part, is that airsoft guns, because they're replicas, won't be allowed. Now, currently on the books, if you look into firearm legislation, you will see that replica firearms have always been banned. Now, there are exceptions and loopholes and blah, 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 but replicas have always been banned. They've always been illegal, and that's just the way it is. But there's no point in discussing Bill C-21. There's just no point in discussing it. I know that there's lots of pages and people talk about it unless they just rally together. But there's no point. Like, let me explain why. So, you know that I'm a Canadian. Canadians are best known for hockey players. I'm loving hockey. There are, if you look it up, like I Googled it, there are over 600,000 registered hockey players in Canada. At one point, there was 7,021 down in 2015, and it goes up and down. But Canadians are known for their love of hockey. And if you asked an American what they know about hockey, they'd be, or Canadians, like, oh yeah, hockey. And you talked about guns, and they'd say, Canadians don't like guns that much because we don't talk about them, right? Well, funny thing is, if you Google it, and I took the liberty of doing that for you, if you Google it, there are an estimated 3 million civilians in Canada that own firearms. 3 million. I mean, it's for hockey players, but there are 3 million firearms owners in Canada. So what does that mean? Well, if you do the math, and I did it for you, basically that means there are almost 5 times more firearms owners than there are hockey players in Canada. You're welcome to check my math. You're welcome to do all your Googling. You're welcome to check whatever you want to check. But there you go. 3 million firearms owners, divide by 637, which is the latest count I could get. So these numbers could be a little bit off here or there, but they're all relatively recent. And I don't think they're going to change enough to change the argument of this conversation. Now, if you ask me about paintball in my area, and you said, Steve, where can you buy paintball stuff? There's Hero Army Surplus, which is close to me. And they've got a few cases of paint, and they got a couple old Coronuses and stuff, but they don't really sell much paintball. They have about a dresser drawer full. Like if you think about a dresser in your bedroom, that's all the paintball stuff they have in a giant. Now they've got racks and racks and racks of Airsoft, and they've got, if I want to get paintball, I have to go into Toronto. There's maybe 3 or 4 pro shops in Toronto, premium paintball products, whatnot. But that's for Toronto's got over 7 million people, and there's only like 3 or 4 shops. All right. If you ask me about where to get firearms in Canada, I can tell you that there's 7 stores within 30 minutes of my house, and I'm on the east side of Toronto. Right off the top of my head, I can think 7. There's probably more where I can buy ammunition, where I can buy firearms. But if you ask me where I can buy paintball gear, there's only like 3 or 4 places in all of Toronto, Greater Toronto area. There's very, very few places. So to try to rally the paintball airsoft community to fight Bill C-21 so that we can dislodge it, it's not going to happen. It's wasted breath. There's 3 million firearms owners in Canada, 3 million, give or take. And they can't even get on the same page. Like you've got the firearms owners that are hunters, and all they care about are the firearms with wood that they hunt with. I don't need an AR-15, or I don't need a pistol. And so they don't care about that, and then they vote accordingly. And then you've got the firearms owners that are sports and shooting enthusiasts, and they'll own pistols or AR-15s, restricted weapons, things like that, and they just really enjoy shooting. And they call the hunters FUDs, like Elmer Fudd. So they don't get along. And then if you ask a firearms person what they think about paintball or airsoft, they turn up their nose. They don't care. They think they're toys. They think that people playing paintball are children, or airsofters are being children. And so now you've got another shooting enthusiast, and so everybody doesn't like everybody else. And when you start listening to people in paintball and airsoft community in MagFed, you've got the tournament players saying, well, I don't care about airsoft and I don't care about MagFed, so why should I get involved with C21, which sucks. And you've got the MagFed players saying, well, I don't care about airsoft, I'll just go to an MG100. It doesn't look the same. And you've got airsoft players who have been forever bashing paintball players because they like doing it their way. Now they're begging paintballers to care, specifically tournament paintball players. And they'll say, you know, why aren't you helping? And tournament players are like, my gun doesn't look like a thing. I don't care. So you've got everybody not caring about everybody else's. But here's the thing. The people that want to ban them, they don't care whether it looks like a firearm or doesn't look like a firearm. As far as they're concerned, all action pursuit shooting sports are all bad. They're just all bad. That's their opinion. And they are going to keep gnawing at it. So, in a nutshell, all firearms, all paintball guns, all airsoft guns, all of it, they're all important, and we're all in this together, or nobody is. But this fight with C21, it's lost. There's almost no point in even disputing it. Nobody pays attention to online, what's it called? Online surveys or petitions and all. They're ignored. There are 3 million firearms owners in Canada that can't get their act together enough to protect the hundreds of thousands or hundreds of millions of firearms that currently exist in Canada. We outnumber hockey players almost 5-1, and firearms owners cannot get their act together enough to protect firearms. What makes you think that anybody, and I mean anybody, is going to give a crap about our niche little sport where we run around in the woods, act like children, and try to shoot each other and play pretend? Because that's how we're seen. That's how we as people are viewed to the greater society. This fight's lost. It's done. And this is the last time I'm ever going to talk about Bill C-21. And I do not like talking about politics on my show because it's a waste of time. I like being upbeat. All that we can do at this point, as far as Bill C-21 goes, is if you can put a little money in, join the CCFR or the NFA or the CSSA, basically the firearm shooting sports that are within Canada, because they are actually paying for lawyers and they are getting people together. And then the next thing you have to do is you have to vote Conservative in the next election, which is coming up soon. Because even though we have a minority Liberal government right now between the Liberals and the NDP, and for you Americans out there, our Conservative are kind of like our Republicans, but we're very, very liberal. And then our Liberals are like your Democrats, but farther left. And then our NDP are basically full-on communists. Just so you know that if you're not familiar with Canadian politics. So in a nutshell, all you can do is join an organization, contribute some money so that they can fight it in battle. They can bring up, pay for lawyers so that when arrests and things happen, what'll happen is we can fight it in court it'll undo the law and make it null and void when charges start getting laid. That's part A. And the second thing is vote conservative. And if you vote conservative, the Conservative Party will undo C-21. But as far as it going through, it's going through. There's nothing you can say or you can do about it. And that's that, really. Like, yeah. And I'm sorry to get political on you guys. I really am. But I get people asking me all the time, what's my stance on C-21? It's lost. It's not even worth talking about. But I get asked time and time again. So that is where I stand. And if you take a look at the numbers on the show, when I started talking politics, it dropped. Half the people left. I went from having 20 people and was down to 11. Just like that. And that's why I don't like talking politics. And I have no interest in talking about politics. So, moving on. We've got Chris saying, I'm an American who plays paintball, and I happen to have quite a few different firearms as well. I enjoy shooting sports. And there's a lot of people like that as well. But at the end of the day, perception is reality. So, yeah. So that's kind of on a down note. So let's scroll back here and let's see what some other people said. Ultimate Paintball Jerk Chicken is pretty good. Raider Dogs are the classic. I have never had Ultimate Paintball's Jerk Chicken. I know that I've gone to Combat Pursuit, and they've got some jerk chicken, which is pretty amazing. One of Trevor's old teammates has a barbecue business. And he comes out and he marinates his chicken and whatnot, and it is absolutely amazing. That and the burgers. I'm actually half tempted to drive out to Ultimate this weekend if we weren't closed down because we're in double lockdown. Just for the food, if nothing else. So, yeah. Well, that kind of took everything to a huge downer, and we lost a whole lot of viewers. So, for those of you that are out there watching, fire out a question. Let me know what you're saying. Okay. Let's be honest. If Paintball Field had biscuits and gravy. Okay, see, that's a trick question because, yes, I love biscuits and gravy. That is no secret. Anybody that is anybody knows that I love biscuits and gravy. But I also love hot dogs and I also love hamburgers. Like, love them. And nothing ruins a hot dog or a hamburger faster than a paintball field owner. They just don't. No offense to those owners that try really hard, but I mean, Wasaga had the right idea. They had Burger John, so they actually had like a special cook making food. Trevor's got the right idea. He brings one of his old teammates in who specializes, makes his own marinades and stuff, and that is just the best. But when you've got some ref flipping burgers and cooking dogs, yeah, no. I went to a field once, and I literally asked for my hot dog burnt. I said, give me the one, just char it. Just char it. Because my opinion, do I like burnt food? No. I prefer my steaks medium rare or even rare. But when I go to a paintball field, I just like cook the heck out of it. Like, just hellfire the thing. And so he gave me a burnt hot dog. And I kid you not, that hot dog was frozen in the middle. It was black on the outside, black as night. And on the inside, it was still frozen. That's how bad paintball food is. So, yeah. So, for those of you that have been watching for a while, what did you guys think of how I did the screens or the slideshow? I'd love to hear your feedback about that because I've never done that before. I tried a new thing, and it took me a couple hours to kind of put slides together. But yeah, what did you guys think of that? And are there any further questions out there? Because I am running out of things to talk about, and I've done my slideshow. And that whole little political talk kind of just brought the show's energy right to the floor. Anybody? And the crowd goes hush quiet. All right, guys. Well, I think then if that's the case, what I'm going to do is I am going to call this show, bring this show to a close. I think it was a successful test of doing the slides, and I really liked answering the questions. I could have done without the political talk. I avoid political talk like the plague on the show, and it'll never happen again. Jeff Thompson saying, I need my own, my very own sideshow Bob. Yeah, I could definitely go for one of those. Oh, and Sean saying, big get together when we open. Pick a field and give warning now. I'll do my best, but 1 week we're open, 1 week we're closed. Government never knows what's going on. And I believe the last time I invited you out, I gave you 4 days for a walk on? Like, come on. It's not like I plan years in advance. I don't have that. Who has that kind of time? But anyway, yeah, I'm more of a spur of the moment kind of guy, unless it's something like Iron City Classic. Now that I know there's a loophole, I'm going. So anyway, thank you all for joining me tonight. Please leave in the comments below what you thought of the little screen at the side. I did it quickly. I'm just learning the software. I think I can make the images better, and I think I can make it look a little better. But I thought it was really cool how it all worked out. I'm not keen on it being how it was all gray, but I tried to keep it all uniform. And I think I did a good job. So I'm going to call it for tonight. I'm going to remind everybody that next week's show is going to be a very special show because this podcast has a new sponsor. Yes, we do. And we're going to have them on next week, and we're going to talk all about it. And I'm excited. I'm really excited. This is a big, big, big deal for me, and it's going to change a lot. Oh, again, if you guys want an actual Ali Remembered jersey, reach out to me off the show, and I'll get you in touch with the Ali Remembered Foundation. But these Anthrax jerseys are absolutely amazing, super comfortable, and help support a good cause. And we'll bring more awareness and prevention to domestic violence. So with that, I'm calling it a night. Thank you all for watching. And play with passion, everybody. And, keep your paint dry.